What is going on? I'm Zedmont. Long weekend here and way behind as a result. So Code Zedmont probably has expired close to. We're going to refresh that just because I can't even spell my own creator code. I didn't put snot. Smot is slightly better than zmot. We are going to jump in and I have just been in free fall mode. We are going to change that though because I've figured out the hits, I've got the tech, and should be able to push into Diamond. Probably want to upgrade that flare to tick 4, but otherwise we've got all of the tools we could need. Now you need troop health at this point, but I went back and got this one because it saves about 6 keys. Otherwise, our clone rifles are there. We've got don't have tanks, don't have bullet. I just went against someone with 6 rocket launchers, and it took a long time to figure out how the heck they got 6 rocket launchers. Longer than I would have liked, to be completely honest, but they chose rocket launchers over machine guns. First person I've seen to do that, and probably the only person all season long. Now, artillery is huge. My other account is on the brink of artillery, on the brink of 6 engine rooms, so we'll show you that tomorrow probably, but for right now, I'll show you this hit, and it's working very well. My Rudero is maxed, sometimes using all clones, sometimes using 2 boats of Rainmakers, and this hit 100% is Casey's hit. Casey, I don't know how to say it, German dude, a very strong player. And so what we are going to do is I'll do a little quick drawing here. Rainmakers are going to take care of this, Rudero's going to take care of this, and then clones are going to take care of everything else, and Rudero's probably going to do a little bit of damage to this engine room at some point. And do I have this hit nailed? Not quite. We're going to drop Rudero over there, these guys over there, and then just all of this stuff across the front, this here, and then getting this stuff here, and I think I just shocked my own Rainmakers, maybe? I think I just wasted a whole bunch of GBE, but should still not be a giant problem. Screwing up is not super duper great, but look at this, Rudero's probably going to take out that shock launcher too, which makes things even better as we get a bunch of stuff onto there, and then we're just gonna get our troops back onto there as we throw a shock there and our speed serum there. And Rudero didn't get this bottom engine room down, so we'll throw some critters on that. And now as that goes down, we'll get back into here with another speed serum and a flare, and might as well throw one of those. And we end up with a time of 3 minutes and 1 second. Not super duper quick, but usually gonna be quick enough. So I know a lot of people have started to use critter cannons with Rainmakers, with clones, and just going back to simple is pretty darn nice. Definitely didn't, and that person did have building health. So when you can get more than 3 minutes on a base that has building health, and by the way, don't build this. This base is like a week old. I definitely need to put some... I think that my skill and hit and tech can get me into Diamond, but my base definitely needs to be changed before I can do that. So, going to be a bit of a hassle there. And this is just... I don't even know what this is. This is just hideousness. So we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to send Rudero slightly left, and I don't think I need any speed serum to be coming on that left-hand side this time. We're just going to get these guys going, and we're going to use our speed serum on that right-hand side instead, as Rudero hooks us up with a little bit of extra goodness. And then I'm going to flare, I'm not even going to flare, I'm just going to keep these guys going. And we're just going to go, and I'm going to throw one of those back there because probably want that to keep moving. As the rest of our troops get going, we're just going to throw some of those back there, and we're going to keep these things going, and maybe throw a shock about here so that that shock launcher doesn't shock lock our dudes. And just a crazy base, I gotta say. So, I don't know what the heck this person's base is set up to do or stop. Maybe they're rushing forwards to 6, but again, rank 17 is not really the place to go get some brilliant hits usually, but hopefully you guys ignore my rank and know that this hit is good enough for 21 or 22. So, and it's the beautiful thing about it is it simplifies things, because I very much was considering going and getting critter cannons, and I felt like you had to have critter cannons, but once you get artillery, you don't need critter cannons, and so this one's going to keep pushing forwards without them, and I love the fact that clones are just that magically good and simple, which, yes, there's going to be some bases that have that grappler on that left-hand side coming up at some point, but for right now, this is just rinse and repeat. 1, 2, 1, blah, 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 with some critters there, and a speed serum there, and a shock there, and then Rudy doing his thing. And the one thing that I've found that I screw up the mostest is where and when I deal with Rudy. I just can't get him to go where I want him to. I think I pushed the button a little bit too early, or drop him in the wrong spot, which is not ideal, but eventually he gets there in the end, and that's kind of the important bit anyways. So Rudy is not doing us any favors by slowing our hit down at the second, but should be able to get him onto that final engine room in a second here. And there we go. I thought I left a little bit early, but we timed it almost perfectly as we get the rest of our dudes onto that next engine room with a shock just to be super duper cautious. And down goes the base in 3 minutes and 4. And ideally you get Rudy to get rid of that bottom engine room, and then he does at least 1 or 2 more bombing runs on those top engine rooms, but things don't always go as per ideal. But again, just picking up wins against players who have Scorchers and Rudy and all sorts of different troops, but just simple clones with simple Rainmakers. So we are gonna leave oh, look at that. We don't even need any Rainmakers on that left-hand side, because Rudy's gonna do all of the work himself on that left-hand side. So do I dare? Let's just go full crazy mode. We're just gonna drop all of this stuff, and my sound just got a little bit wonky, so hopefully things still sound good for you guys as we get this stuff going. Things just got very loud in my ear, so hopefully you guys are not hearing any kind of weirdness here, but if you do, my apologies. We'll try and clean it up here in post at the very worst case. And now all of these things just making their way forwards, clearing all of the things, and then Rudero's gonna get that engine room, and look, he's actually hitting the engine room behind it just to make it extra super duper amazing, because that's what Rudy does, right? Getting him onto that back engine room with the rest of our clones going, and then eventually Rudy's gonna be able to do a bombing run. Oh, he's not. He's not. Rudy Rudero has hit the deck. That bombing run would have had us at like a 3:08 or something like that, but instead we ended up with a 3-minute 3 using all clone rifles just for extra awesomeness. What did George do? George ended up with a time of... Nope, George is not done. 2:51, so pretty happy with that. We are going to keep moving up. It looks like George force quit, possibly, so we gotta wait for that. And if you're looking at that going, Zed, that doesn't match what we saw, I had a phone call, which meant I had to restart the recording, which didn't work out super great. And our opponent has finished, so we'll do one more hit just to show you that this is not a fluke or an anomaly. This hit does work very, quite well. Getting back to 2 over there and 6 over there. And I'm not sure exactly how to line this up. Feel like if I go straight through that rocket launcher, he'll do good work, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to line that up or if he's going to go left for that boom cannon over there, so we'll just give it the old college try and see how it works. And there's Rudero. Look at that, just clearing all of the things and hitting that shock launcher is going to pay huge dividends at some point in the next little bit, and just need to keep this stuff going. But it looks like Rudero somehow managed to die. Not entirely sure where he even died, but I think we should still be okay as long as we can get these guys moving forward with that blue crystal shield, and now just getting them moving onto that next engine room. Oh, there's Rudy. And so now we just need to get these guys back here going, and we're going to get everything moving towards that final engine room with some critters on the engine room just to try to protect and give us a little bit of extra oomph. 3 minutes 2 against building health bases consistently. So lots and lots of fun to be had. This is not the end quite yet. There's a few days left in this season. So if you're feeling like you're a little bit behind, we've still got 13 days left. If you're feeling a rush, just know that it's very, very early still. And sometimes life gets in the way, and sometimes you don't have the time or the effort or the cares to get the hits in. We're going to catch up. I will hopefully be in Diamond, if not tomorrow, the next day. And from there, we can push on forward. So backfilling is great and all, but have a look at the tools you already have, and I shall talk to you soon. So as always, thank you for coming in, liking, sharing, subscribing. Those beautiful, beautiful Shockeneers are gone, sadly. Had a lot of fun with those. Hopefully you did as well. I'm Zedmont. Thanks for coming in. Peace.